G'day guys, Calvin from the Cartoon Company in New Zealand. Today's topic is 1 Vvti Frost plugs. Now it's not something that I've done a lot of. In fact, I can remember how many engines I've changed the frost plugs on. 2 of them were jet boats and they were run raw water and they had leaks. And one was a Hilux Ute that had a water leak underneath the front covers, and I thought it was going to be a water pump, and we pulled it apart and it was actually the frost plug that it was leaking. So that was quite interesting. We'll start with have a bit of a look at the block. So all of the blocks have this cover on the front, which is this one here. So I'm on the right hand side of the engine. I recommend, if you're doing a preparation on an engine, is to pull that cover off, reseal it. I often see leaks coming out the stud holes where it's leaked from the in here into the stud and then it comes out the stud. That's the only frost type fitting on the block, and it can't pop out. It's a cover more for casting. We do have the block drains here, and we've talked about block drains in another video. The frost plugs are located in the cylinder heads. We go up here. In some places, of course, you call them Welsh plugs. We have this one, and we have that one there. And as discussed in another video, because these heads are identical left and right, the same applies on the front. So there's the ones on the back. So there's 4 on the back, 2 on each cylinder head, and the same on the front. And the fact that it's the same cylinder head. These top ones go into oil, and these bottom ones go into coolant. We'll go have a look on the cylinder head on the bench. Just put some new mags on my camper van I picked up the other day. That's beside the point. Let's get into the cylinder head. Here's the cylinder head. Looking in, oh, flip it over. So I think you can spot why this cylinder head was replaced. This frost plug here is located, goes into the water gallery there. And this one into the water gallery here. The top ones are in the oil gallery here, and the other one is in here. So this video was actually asked, a customer of mine has popped frost plugs out, and the top one he's lost and it's disappeared. So I got a 30mm frost plug, which is the size they are, and I put it down here, and it can't go anywhere else. Hopefully I can get it back out. However, this one, I thought, no, it won't get anywhere. Throw it down here like this. Did this. So at one end, we have this big oil fitting. It's like a casino slot machine, and you can put the frost plug through it and it'll fall down. So the one in the oil, no chance of it disappearing into the water, of course, the top ones, but can go down that oil gallery into the bottom of the block. So the answer is, for the customer with the frost plug popped out in the oil, is to take the tablet cover off and have a look. I haven't actually looked at a block. I don't have a block in pieces at the moment. Alternatively, take the sump off and have a look from the sump instead of pulling the heads off, to find that it's actually down in the block somewhere. I might look at pulling a couple of frost plugs out for you. So I used to have a tool for removing the frost plugs. It used to be like a punch. It would punch in here and flick out. I no longer have that because I just don't do frost plugs very often anymore. It's actually about to receive a set of my headers, and I was about to do that, and I thought I'd better get some exhaust gaskets because I didn't have any exhaust gaskets. So I'll get a set of headers for when it's firing up. The last ones that were on it, I sold. So let's pop some Welsh plugs out, or frost plugs out. We'll have a bit more of a look inside the cylinder head to see what we can see with the plugs out. So I've popped these plugs out. And you see here, I'll grab, there's my finger. Whoop. And then this one here, that's definitely water. Going to the back one. Again, the bottom one being water. And the top one's actually quite interesting. It has a lip inside the cylinder head where it's been machined. We'll see if we can see it. Yeah. So it does make it quite tricky to pop out by turning it sideways and pulling it out. Probably better to put a screw into it if you are going to change that one. Put a screw into it, or a bolt, or cut a hole in it and flick your screwdriver in and pull it out, or your pry bar. So this one's oil, so we go up through here. And that's the one, no, that's one can't go any further into the cylinder head, so it can't disappear in. But this one on this side has got the big hole. So this is the one that's got the big hole for the oil. So we are thinking about doing the frost plugs if you're worried about water. Now we look at the back of these ones. So that's the oil one. That's an oil one. So I dug a hole through it to pull it out. And the water ones. These ones actually aren't too bad a condition. And a little hint for you, this is why you always get the air duster out and blow all the contaminants from around the manifold when you're doing a starter motor. I had to repair this for the customer. You can actually see here was the screw from a throttle position sensor, and it went through the engine and got a little bit of a beating. There was a little bit of a tapping noise. So I hope that's helpful, and for the customer who this video is intended for, I'm sure they will be pulling it apart. They'll be pulling their tappet cover off and be getting up with a magnet to find that frost plug in the oil system. And it's not going to get through the pickup anyway, so it's probably not going to cause a problem. So I hope that was helpful, and we'll catch you later.